Good morning, everybody. Orange J here with another War of the Visions video, and today we're going to talk about everything that's coming out this coming Wednesday. We got a new 70 cost ice unit, a new job-based vision card, and a whole lot of new and upgraded gear coming to the game. So let's jump in and let's start by talking about our new unit here, Grifford. Now, on my main account, this probably isn't somebody I'm pulling for. However, on on my alt account, Baby J, this looks great. I really hope that as a 70 cost unit, in a back-to-back week 70 cost unit, in fact, we get another one of those like 9-step banners that guarantees him at the end, so Baby J can go get this guy for pretty cheap and save a little bit of Visuor for Final Fantasy VIII and all that stuff that's still coming out. So he's Ice Element. Axe Knight is his new job. There's some cool stuff about this job that we'll talk about here in a minute, but let's start with his TMR. It's boots. It's an accessory. It has 2 agility on it, which is a really interesting number. A 2 agility TMR kind of gives us access to another number for like agility tweaking and things like guild rates and stuff. Now the buff on it isn't bad. It's a diamond shaped ice resist, wind resist, attack up buff for 3 turns for allies. So if you're building anti those elements, that's pretty solid. I like the stat line on these boots pretty well. Overall, it's a very passable TMR. His master ability is HP 10%, defense 10, and this guy does have a way of drawing aggro with his kit. So is he a tank? No, I would say he's definitely not going to be like the main tank for your group, but he is going to be a harder guy to kill, and he can pull a little aggro for you. His dream ability kind of further leans into that with slash and strike resist 10% and 20 single target resist with an upgraded skill. So his master ability outside of the elemental group buff is all about being tankier, all about being hard to kill, and then we'll just have to like find damage within his kit. Already I can kind of feel like for a 70 cost unit, I think he's going to be very impactful, but is he going to be like a top tier damage dealer? I kind of doubt it, but let's see what we got here. So in a weird change of things, typically this first support ability of their new job is like a must equip. His is attack up 24%, AP consumption down 25. If you're running him in something like a guild raid or something like that, this is probably a must run. The attack will help your damage, AP consumption down will help you save, AP and all that. But for PvP, I don't know that this is actually one of his better ones. Instead, you do have Kinjitsu Artist Knowledge, which is a great translation from JP, that is attack and defense pin 40. If you want this guy to do damage, which is something he's going to want to do, you're going to need defense pin, you're going to need slash pin. Here's 40 of your defense pin right here, since you're not getting any of it from his master ability. Then his job's other new support ability is Chivalry of Patience that upgrades to Loyal Chivalry. This is HP up, Elemental Chain Resist up, and AoE Resist 15. Very good for, again, making him harder to kill, but I do think you have another option here. So when you're thinking about Grifford, if you want him up there trading shots back and forth, I think you run Loyal Chivalry. If you're trying to get him to do the most damage possible, you do have access to 40 more defense pin right here with Wild Instinct, accuracy, defense penetration, or you have access to agility and move up if you need that for certain matches or certain agility tuning. So really interesting set of support skills here, a lot to choose from. I don't think any of them are like super OP, but 15 AoE resist, 12% HP, and 40 elemental chain resist will make him a lot harder to kill and a lot easier to start stacking that AoE and single target resist when mixed with his master ability. Okay, his new counter move is Volunteer Protection. It is an AoE group buff, 30% chance to proc, increase AoE resist by 40 for 1 turn for allies. Pretty good, but he also has physical reflex, and I feel like physical reflex is so good it would be hard to run anything else, so probably just run reflex. Okay, his new job, what's he got here? So his cheat move, 15 AP, is counters off by 100 for 3 turns for the target, so completely turns counters off for the target, 121% slashing damage. He scales purely off of attack. His group buff right here is a 20 defense buff for allies, 20% strike resist buff for allies. That's very prevalent these days, although Elia has her ways of getting through that. And then elemental chain resist 40. With this buff online, he's basically not chainable via elements anymore. That puts him at 80, which means elemental chaining not really doing too much for him. Then he has fighting axe technique. This is a 7500 physical damage shield. I love these abilities. That also gives him attack and agility buff for 3 turns. So very strong, self health buff right here, very much an anti-physical unit. You can see he's stacking defense, he's stacking a physical shield. He'll be hard to kill by physical damage dealers. Then, this is where he gets interesting to me. As a 70 cost PvP unit, he has sleep. And not only does he have sleep, he has a boosted chance, a 40% chance to inflict sleep for 3 turns for targets. If you're running this guy against physical units, and that's kind of your whole thing with him, you can't always guarantee you're going to find that, but let's say that's your thing. You won't mind stacking his faith up to 97 to further boost this high chance of putting people to sleep. Sleep is an okay status effect. It can be really clutch if the AI will play around it correctly, and I think that's the way Grifford's going to play, right? Go in there, put some people to sleep with his AoE, and just go for it, right? So I like that move a lot. Then he does have Dispel Re-Raise, single target move that absorbs some of the damage done, and then Dual Judgment. This is his way of generating aggro for himself. It is a single target skill that can pick up to 2 targets. It will give him 40 slash attack pin for 3 turns. This is his first access to slash attack penetration. Now, his weapon that comes out is going to give him some more, but this is really good. It has 165% damage, decreases their CT, and increases his aggro. A useful skill for like juggling around aggro on purpose or accidentally to kind of throw the enemy off. I think this is a really good skill, and overall for a 70 cost unit, I feel like this kit is pretty good. Now, his Axe Knight sub job has a move unit to target pedal, so he will jump to here and then hit all around him. 165% modifier damage and increases AP consumption for the target. So an okay move. And then Knight's Elixir, I don't know how often you're going to get this used, but I think it's cool. It's a 20% HP heal. He can use it twice, and it dispels poison, frostbite, blind signs, paralyze, and immobilize. So he's got a little potion he could just drink, to make himself feel a little better. That's neat. But I do think mostly you're going to be running Boxer Sub. Boxer Sub gives him courage with the AP restore on it. Really, really useful, obviously. Then it gives him striking moves. And so when you have a unit like Grifford here, who can get all the defense pin that he wants, if you can give him 2 different damage types and then let the AI sort out like who's resistant to what, that's pretty powerful. So I think you see where I'm going with that. This Boxer Sub's probably gonna be the one you run most of the time. He does have Strider Sub if you want that. And then his Limit Break is an AoE resistance debuff. So it's actually a 30 AoE resist debuff, 200% modifier attack. That's a 2-hit attack with a decent amount of range. In fact, for his axe moves, that's his longest ranged attack. So that's pretty cool. Overall, like I was saying, I think Grifford is really solid at 70 cost. He's not Bridal Elia, who's gonna come in here and change the game for the next year. But if you're building ice, especially if you're a newer player building ice like Baby J, this is perfect because he's going to help me fill out my ice team, and hopefully he'll be easy to pull with some nice banners. Now, we're also getting a new vision card this week. The Peak of Martial Arts is far away. It's not actually what it's called in Global. In Global, it is called a Pinnacle Ever Far. Sort of close to a Peak of Martial Arts is far away, but not exactly. The reason I want to show you on the client real quick here is keep in mind that for Global, Varouche and Lamega will get agility up as a global buff. So you won't see that on the preview here, but keep that, in the back of your mind. Now, stat line, this is a really, really weird card. It's a really weird card because the stat line on it is HP, Magic, Agility. Okay, that's good, right? That's good. The unit effect, Magic, Dark Resist, really good. I love that. Party effect, Dark Resist, great. Human Killer with physical attacks. So it's a magic card that gives magic as the unit effect and increases your human killer with physical attacks. Okay, so it's, yeah, interesting. And then it gives slash attack resist pin. So let me talk for a second. The dark resistance, 24% dark resistance plus 10 more from the unit effect makes this a 34% dark resist card for the unit wearing it, as long as they also receive the party effect right here. Then the human killer 20 with physical is great, obviously only for physical units, but slash attack resist pin 35 is great for physical slashers and magic slashers. So overall, I think if you have the units to make this card work, you're getting a lot. Even if you're not picking up that physical human killer, the slash attack pin mixed with the dark resist makes this a very good anti-dark card. Note there's a couple like Bronwell and Sephiroth. We don't even have Bronwell yet, but Bronwell Sephiroth is a really nice dark slashing combo right there. Soul is on here, but I'm not sure exactly what Soul's running this for. I mean, I haven't really looked at Soul Skip that hard, to be honest, but yeah, we'll look at that later. Otherwise, there's not a ton of top tier units on here. Varouche is on the card, but like if you're running Varouche, if you're trying to go like, I don't know. I know the card feels kind of weird. I foresee a lot of people skipping this card. It's powerful if you can make the effects work, but there we go. Okay, next up, let's talk about the new stuff we're getting. Demon Gods Bardiche. This is Grifford's Axe. 169 assault modifier on it, or 20 crit rate. I think you run the assault version. If you are Grifford, you are getting slash attack 15, reaction block rate 30, and single target resist 8. So even more single and AoE resist stacking for him, and you're getting 20 defense penetration, taking him all the way where he needs to go on defense pin. Now, might it be better? I don't know. Like, this gives him 100 if you run both his defense pin subs. I would have loved to see slash attack resist pin on there more. If I'm being honest, I'd probably rather see slash attack penetration on there. Okay, now, with the next legendary reliquary, we're getting two very, very good weapons. Assassin's Dagger is initial AP 25, slash attack 20, de-aggro by 4, and a 15% chance to inflict doom for 4 turns, 187 attack modifier, 132 magic modifier with accuracy and crit. Very, very strong generic dagger right there. The Mace of Zeus. This has an attack of 203 and a magic of 205, so it's actually good either way. Then it has a 200% magic damage increase, so making it better for mages. Elemental attack up 15, and it increases all elemental attack up 15, so that stacks with specific element attack buffs, and evocation gauge boost 30. I love this. Evocation gauge boost is really fun to play around with, so good mace right there. Really good. Then Martialist Fist Guard. This is like Urel's gloves, but they're good on a lot of other people too. They have strike attack 15. They have agility up 10% when your HP is above 80%. Urel herself will get CT up. What's changing on here? Let's just talk about what's changing. The attack goes up from 174 to 209. That's really the big deal right there. You're getting over, 35 attack? That's pretty good. And then the increase to +6 is in the, okay, this is really... Reaction block rate is 30 instead of 15, right? So wait, reaction block rate was 30 at +5, accuracy 15. It's this agility part right here. Wow, that's tough to read. So you now get 10% agility when your HP is above 80%. That's nice. So a very solid piece of fist gear right there. Peacemaker, one of my favorite guns in the game because it gives defense and spirit penetration on it. I've always liked this gun a lot. Then reaction block rate 40, missile attack 15. What it's gaining is the reaction block rate goes from 30 to 40, which is a nice buff. Reaction block rate is a super important stat these days. Also, the attack goes from 184 to 221. It is now a big time assault weapon, and the accuracy has 29. Like, that's a lot of accuracy, but I do love a 221 assault gun. Okay, Platinum Lance. Your assault version goes from 167 up to 184, so almost 20 more right there. But the big deal here is in the buff, right? So, reaction block rate 30 stays the same, the initial AP stays the same, Pierce attack 15 stays the same, but you're picking up 10 critical damage. Critical damage is a hard stat to come by all the time, so picking up 10 more right there is really nice. And then the Wave Blade. So Wave Blade, famous for having all elemental attack up on it. The attack version goes from 153 to 184. The magic version goes from 76 to 90, from 153 to 184. So a very good attack and magic version still. The aim version has balance, but only 13 accuracy, which kind of sucks. Okay. The all elemental attack 15 is staying the same. The acquired AP is staying the same. The reaction block rate goes from 30 to 40, and then slash attack 15, that's always been there. So that's the breakdown on the Wave Blade. It gets a little bit better all the way around. And then Crow Cloak. This is an evasion piece of gear. The evade piece now has 19 evade, 20 luck. Okay, that's fine. What about these stats down here? The 10% agility is now after 2 hits received. So previously, if you got hit once, you lost that agility buff. Now you keep the agility buff for 1 more hit. Nothing else on this changed. It was already a decent piece of evade gear. It's slightly better. Now, than it was before, and that, my friends, is what we are getting in this week's patch. So if you're pulling for Grifford, good luck. Otherwise, I think for a lot of people, this is a stay strong, like low spending kind of week. So if that's you, hashtag stay strong for some Final Fantasy VIII or whatever else, Melnia, we got some strong things coming down the pipe. Otherwise, have a great Tuesday, everybody. I'll catch you next time. Peace.